Welcome back, Switchheads. My name's Kanan, and this is my PC Steam review for The Forest Cathedral. And it's been a while since I played a walk-in sim, story-based platforming puzzler. In fact, I don't think I've actually played all them mixed together before, so this is actually quite a unique experience for me. But I guess the main question is it actually any good? Well, that's what we're here to find out, so hit that like and subscribe button and let's do just that. Firstly, the story for The Forest Cathedral is based on a true story. More of that in a second. So, this one's set on a remote island and you play as scientist Rachel Carson, and the game tells a reimagined story of the attempted silence of said Rachel Carson, leading up to her discoveries on the harmful pesticide known as DDT. The story was actually interesting and made even more so because it's a reimagining of an actual true story. Seriously, go and Google it. As for the gameplay, ever wondered what would happen if you mixed the relaxed gameplay of a walking sim puzzler and then threw in some hardcore platform puzzling? I'm sure for many it's not even crossed your mind, but it is an interesting concept and one that I definitely wanted to explore. So firstly, let's tackle the real world, and this is set in kind of days, but these can advance in multiple days as the story starts to evolve. As you progress through the story, your character, through being mainly alone on this island, starts to go a little bit stir crazy, I suppose, which is bound to happen, as they do say being alone can drive you a little crazy. Hello Wilson, how's your day? You're so funny. Yes. Although there are interactions with other characters, your friend and boss, and some animals, weirdly enough, although you do actually get to properly interact with the NPCs. And this is done through these video calls with some really nice pixel art visuals, and they're even voiced, which is even better. Each jump in time, a day here, days there, you get to explore and try to work out what's going on with the creatures and animals on this island that you're on. Some of this is done by using a scanner device that you use to find points of interest and scan creatures for info and clues. This can turn into a puzzle at times, locating areas by following pipes and lines that show up on the scanner, or finding ways to restore power to some of these devices you're forced to use, to help you achieve all your tasks along the way and make sure you stay on track. There's like a book or a diary that you keep notes in that you can go and look at any time to see what your next objective is and the like. And this book obviously gets updated every single time that you do something or something of interest happens. And trust me, I used it loads. The controls on these parts handled well, and it was also enjoyable, as there was always something to do or see or interact with. Although the movement did feel a little bit slow, and you kind of really felt this when you had to trek from area to area for longer distances. And then there was the control panels that were dotted all about the various areas that enabled you to access other areas or fix things, among other uses. But these parts did not come without their own challenges, and with these parts we enter the little man sections. From 3D to 2D, these sections changed the gameplay completely and mixed up hardcore platforming with puzzling, and at times in really cool ways, using some really inventive ways to mix it all up. But I will admit I found some of these sections really challenging at times, and sometimes really started to stress me out and try my patience. And this was not made any easier by the control system, which had you controlling the movement and jump with the keyboard, and weapon and dash with the mouse, which I really did not feel worked. and it made it really hard to pinpoint some of the trickier platforming while using the mouse to activate the dash button. This made it even worse, the fact that at times I had to use both hands to move and jump with, and then after a little section needed to use the dash button to get to another part of the platform, which felt really awkward and hard to just switch straight back to the mouse once you've got your hands comfortable on the keyboard. Ah! Are you kidding me? For fuck's sake. Get up! Up! Apart from this hiccup, and it was a hiccup, I did enjoy these parts, and it was a good change of pace, and I did enjoy the interaction, although one-sided, with you and the little man. It was little details like this, and I guess the whole thing mixed together that kept the game feeling fresh. It was an interesting mix of different elements, and it just worked. And if I had any negatives, then certainly there would be the load times were a little bit long. That slow walking kind of hurt the pacing at times, and then platforming controls really felt like they worked against you, and I couldn't even see a way of remapping them. The visuals felt crisp and the game was pleasing to behold, even though most of it had that drawing static feel to it for the most part. But that pixel art I mentioned was a cool idea, and I don't think I saw any lag at all during play. Sound was pretty good, and the fact the characters were voiced was amazing, and the voice acting was actually pretty decent. There was plenty of environmental sounds that added to the atmosphere really nicely. The score. In short, the Forest Cathedral felt pretty good for the most part, mixing up some fast-paced puzzle platforming with the more slower walking sim puzzling. It did feel great to play, but it did have a few minor problems, and this kind of held it back for me. Walking speed and the platforming controls were mainly at the top of my list. I'm going to be giving the Forest Cathedral a pretty decent 7 out of 10, and would recommend it, as I really did have some fun playing this one. And it being roughly based around true events kind of gripped me even more. And even more interestingly enough, you can actually just go and Google Rachel Carson and find out the actual real story unravelled in real life. And with that, it's your turn to let me know what you think down in the comments. Or are you going to be leaving it alone on its island? Don't forget to like the video if you've enjoyed it and if it's been helpful, and also subscribe to the channel. I do weekly reviews and sales on PC and Nintendo Switch. And feel free to come and join our Switch Heads community Discord, the link is down below. Thanks for joining me, take care out there, because life is better when we game together.